This conference will now be recorded.
All right. We're getting close. Yes. Fill up my Wawa. Oh, yeah. It's the guy that used to own this place or work here, whatever, is no longer here. Which is okay, because this guy was very pleasant. The other guy was a selling prick.
Okay. This is crazy.
Great. All right, everybody, welcome to our provider meeting. I'm making my way up front following the comments because everything's on video now. And our awesome little owls. And the first thing I'd like to do, welcome online, welcome in person. It's so nice to see everybody. I am Elizabeth Fiola. I'm with the Early Learning Coalition. And we are kicking off our November meeting with a very, very special guest. And also one of our also a special guest, Dr. Todd Panzer, who's on our board. And Roseanne's in the back too. To say hi to everybody. But if I could ask Dr. Panzer to come on up here so that we can make a very special presentation to a young woman who has really depicted the quality that early learning is, especially in Marion County. So, yeah, come on up.
Come up here, Lisa.
Yes, thank you. So this is Jenny Gallego. Am I saying your name right? Did I say it right or not right? Making her nervous. Well, we want to thank you because you have won Lacey's inaugural Early Childhood Educator of the Year. Dr. Panzer, here to say thank you on behalf of our board.
Yes.
Do you want to say anything?
Thank you. You know, it cannot be overlooked how important the educators of the children are and what all the providers do for our children, and to have one of our own recognized so highly and so wonderfully. The inclusiveness that you do in your classrooms is incredible, and we thank you. We thank you for investing in our children, because our future is our children. That's why we all are here. And we will learn something on behalf of the board and Vpk, we'll present you with this plaque. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
When we have more, Jenny, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Let me
good.
hold that, there's more.
More.
There is more, and just a little bit of thanks from us to you. We brought you some flowers, so of course we want to show you how you're just amazing, and we thank you for representing our county. And we also got you chocolate because every early learning person needs chocolate. So, they're here for you, and again, thank you so much for being with us. Is there anything you want to share with us? What makes you?
You're nervous, but thank you for this recognition. I'm so happy to receive this award because I think it's the recognition to our hard job, and it's important to receive it because show to another teacher that we can make it. We can improve our techniques every day in the classrooms to have better children in our rooms and in our country, in our cities, in our communities. And I'm so glad that I can make it, but I didn't make it without my mentor, Paula. And she always listened to me, and the school, the families, my coworkers, and I'm really happy with this award because it means a lot to me. Not just the work, is all of the things around the work, all the responsibility that I feel that I need to do more for my kids and for my colleagues to grow.
To all your colleagues in here online. I believe I remember though, I heard you have a favorite children's book. You have a favorite children's book that you like to read? No? You just like novels? Oh, you don't have to read it now. No.
Okay.
I heard it was Stick and Stone.
Yeah.
Is that one of your favorites? Miss Martha shared that.
Oh,
with me.
yeah.
Yeah. That was new to me when I heard about that book, so I went and read it, and it's a great social emotional book that really does support friendship and getting along and focusing on building those relationships, which is what you're doing. So thank you so much. And Roseanne, you want to say?
No, you all have covered it. You're amazing. We are blessed and fortunate to have you part of our community. Please stay in Marion County forever and ever. Paul is going to make sure that you continue to blossom and grow and share your talents with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here for you, Jen.
You want to say anything?
I'm just proud to see her blossom since she came, to Marion 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I'm just grateful and impressed every day by how quickly she learns from the children. And it's very well deserved.
And we appreciate you so much. We've plastered your picture everywhere. It's on our agenda. It is in our packet. It is everywhere. And we look forward to it tomorrow. Thank you. We're getting back to you. Yeah, you take the chocolate.
Okay.
Back to your class. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd.
Well,
Thank
not
you. We
often that we
appreciate
get to celebrate one of our own in such a big way. We celebrate you every day, of course. But to be nationally recognized through Lacey is a huge deal. So we really appreciate everything. And we look forward to continuing to grow our early learning environment here in Marion County and worldwide. Ready? Next, take the floor with us, the stage, and we go worldwide. I got plans for you, Jenny.
Just real quick, if I could, we are, as you can tell, we're using technology today. You have these little last time, they're called owls, and they make these a lot easier. For whatever reason, this one is not cooperating with us today, so if we come up and stare at it, okay, now it just lit up. Stephen is playing the role of Marcy today. Vacation. We are going to try to have everything work. If you are online, please mute yourself so that we have less interference as your presenters are here presenting. So please mute yourself if you are online. We do encourage you, appropriate to have your cameras on so that we can see you even if you are connecting remotely. On behalf of the coalition, we thank you. We thank you from the bottom of our heart for doing what you have done and what you will continue to do. As you know, there's a lot of changes going on up at the Tallahassee level and at the federal level. We're staying with them. We're staying on top of them as quick as we can. Does your heart jump when I say phase 6?
Yeah.
It should. Why should your heart jump?
Because I mean, it's going to help us with grants.
Money, right? Money. Whoops. Because phase 6 is going to bring you as business owners, directors, more money to your business. If you have not completed that application, you need to do it. It's available, it's online, and once you complete it, be patient with us. We've got our request into Tallahassee now to get those funds so that we can have as quick a turnaround as possible. But the applications are partially completed by the team here, but there are things you have to do. So just like when you work with your kids and you tell them, pay attention to detail, what do they need to do, Janet? Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to detail. Check those boxes, give us those numbers. We need to know the number that you are licensed for. What is your capacity, not just your enrollment. It makes a difference at the bottom line with those numbers, okay? I don't want to take away from Elizabeth's time and Lily's time because I know it's a full agenda, but thank you, thank you, thank you, and we are working with you as quick and as fast as we can, okay?
Thank you. You actually helped me cover phase 6, so we're good.
Liz, I just wanted to say from the board, we're back here and just looking at numbers and things like that. Those numbers matter, as Roseanne said, but the people matter. So thank you all for what you do. You don't get to see us because we're never around, but we do appreciate you. You guys are making massive changes for our children and for our community. So thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Panther. See you later. Well, that was exciting, and it's not often we get to do that, so I thank you for indulging us in that. I know Wendy, you want to step out and take some pictures before they leave? And then, right now, we're gonna see if there's anybody online, and Stephen, thank you so much for helping in the back. Sometimes Richard Forrester is on and has something to share from DCF, so let's see if there's any updates that they would like to share today. Maybe not today.
Hi, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we sure can. Thank you.
Okay, good. So this is probably the last meeting y'all are going to have before these 2 new rules go into effect. So I just wanted to remind you about the CPR and first aid certification. It goes into effect December 31st, and it's going to be based on the staff. I got somebody on their mic's open. So it's going to be based on the number of staff that are actually at the facility. It will determine the amount of staff that have to have the CPR and first aid. So for instance, if there's 0 to 25 staff at a facility, at least 3 staff members have to have the CPR and 3 staff members have to have the first aid. Or you can have 3 staff that have both the CPR and first aid certification. And then it goes up from there. 26 to 50 staff, you have to have 4. 51 to 75, you have to have 5. 76 to 100, you have to have 6 staff with those certifications. And 101 plus, you have to have 7 staff with the CPR certification. Now, if there's the only exception, if there's less than 25 children in care at the facility, then it's based on ratio. For instance, children present only require 2 staff to meet the ratio of the staff to children, then only those 2 staff have to have the CPR and first aid certification. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? And that goes into effect December 31st.
I think, I'm looking around the room. I don't think anybody in the room has any questions.
Okay. And then the second rule is the Alarms Act. That goes into effect January 1st. I think during the last provider meeting, I sent Elizabeth there was an email that went out to all providers who offer transportation. There's a list of manufacturers on our DCF website. So that law goes into effect January 1st. However, during our first inspection in January, if that alarm's not installed, we'll be offering technical assistance the first time around. And then the next routine inspection or next inspection in January will be citation.
Thank you. If you're providing transportation, you have to have a specific alarm system installed in your vehicles through a specific manufacturer. Audio, Toddler Town, she let me know that they were working together to get those installed. So if you need help with that, if you're providing transportation, we can definitely help. Does anybody have any questions about? I know you all have been very diligent about your CPR training this year. We haven't had one that wasn't full.
Is that right?
You just have it in a car too, or just in the vehicle, like vehicle transportation?
If you are, so Richard, we just had a question. Are you offering transportation? Okay, she wants to know if the alarm has to be installed in the bigger van only, or do they also have to be installed in the car?
Let's see it.
It's whatever they're transporting children in. There's actually going to be, you're actually transporting a car?
No, there's my two grandchildren. I think in school.
But they are in your childcare facility. Yeah.
Let me get clarification on that, but I believe this is more designed for when the driver has to actually get up and physically walk back to the back of the van or the bus and do their sweep. So it's to make sure that no kids are left in the back of the van or the bus. If it's a vehicle where there's a back seat, obviously you can't do that, you know. So I'm going to get clarification on that.
Stephen, do we have any questions? Does it have to be a certain alarm? Yes, it does have to be a certain approved brand. Let me see if there's any additional questions. The alarm has to be installed by, is it this January 1st?
Yes.
There is a list to Sarah online. There is a list of manufacturers that are approved for this. And it's on the DPI. It has been circulated around. We can probably find that again. I got my team writing notes over there. Let's see. Okay, I think we answered all the questions. All right, thank you, Richard. We appreciate you being here.
You're welcome.
All right, so next up for some updates, we have Wendy Williams. She's in the back. She's one of our team. If you haven't met her yet, she is our guru behind all of our outreaches now, and she's been doing a great job.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So November, for those who don't already know, I'm sure you all know, is Family Engagement Month. And family engagement means active inclusion of families in meaningful ways as partners in a child's development, learning, and wellness. And this week, November 15th through the 19th, is Vroom Week. Vroom is an app for families and providers that provides free daily brain building tips and resources for children birth through 5 years old. Tips can be downloaded and printed. They can be received via text. So there's several options for parents and providers to get the daily tips. And the brain building tips are STEAM based, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And they don't require special materials. So it's easy brain building tips with common areas or common items found around the house. You and parents can visit Vroom, the website at vroom.org. That's VROOM.org. So we encourage you as providers to celebrate Vroom Week and Family Engagement Month. Some ideas: post banners and signs celebrating families in your drop-off and pickup area. Create a bulletin board with pictures of your staff's families and your students' families. You can add family activity tips and family-friendly community events to share with your families. You can highlight family activities on your social media posts. If you are sharing on social media, please use the hashtag #EngagedFamiliesFL, and then of course tag us, ELC of Marion. You can share the Family Engagement Month calendar, and I left some on the table out front, along with these Family Engagement Month tips. You can host a family night or family breakfast event, of course, following the CDC health and safety guidelines. Share child development information with your families. Show the Vroom or Talk With Me Baby videos in your office areas. Share the Division of Early Learning's parent pages with your families. If you want to feature Vroom on your social media posts, you can use the hashtag VroomWeekFL. And of course, again, tag us at ELC of Marion. Have an orange theme day because the Vroom logo is orange. Wear orange, paint with orange, make orange Play-Doh, have an orange snack, cheese crackers, oranges and tangerines, carrots, orange juice, etc. And print a Vroom tip of the day for each age level to give to families. So those are my tips to share with you. Does anybody have questions? Want to share how you're celebrating Family Engagement Month?
We're going to celebrate tomorrow. We're all wearing orange. So you're going to see a picture on our Facebook if you're on our Facebook page. If you're friends with us. If you're not, you should be. It's a place to be on Facebook. I know a lot of you guys do a lot of great things on your social media too. I know, Erin, you do a lot. You guys always are doing something with your kiddos. So please share with us so we can brag about you. We're going to move into Vpk updates. So I'm going to go back and see if I can release Steven while Lily and I tag team the rest of this meeting for you.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liliana Howard. I'm the Quality 2 Coordinator. I work in professional development, quality improvement plans, and technical assistance. Janet Honor is your Quality Coordinator 1. She does those grants, guys, along with Mary and Delania, and all your other provider relation needs. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the teacher training requirements for the 2022-2023 Vpk teachers. Hopefully everyone is aware that there's been a new law put into place. The requirements are changing to require 15 hours of emergent language and literacy courses. If you look in your packet, past Jenny's beautiful face, there's a memorandum, and there's also a list of the qualified language and literacy emergent courses that qualify towards that 15 hours. I have good news for you guys. Raise your hand if you have VPK teachers that have already done the 5-hour emergent literacy. Guess what? You already got 5 hours. It counts. It counts. You only need 10 more. Yes, ma'am. Do you have a question, Ms. Karen?
Yeah, on page 4 of 6, it says that they can only be counted if it was taken after a certain date.
2018.
So like we took ours in 2006 or something. We can't count those.
Then you'll have to, if it was prior to 2018, then you're going to have to do an updated version. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So prior to 2018, you will have to do the updated version of these courses, and the majority of these are available through the Department of Children and Families. On page 1, you will see number 4, where it says dialogic reading, language, and vocabulary development for preschooler, and then book embedded vocabulary instruction, language and vocabulary development for
for preschoolers. And you see where the registration link for these and the phonological awareness development for preschoolers, all these courses have been updated. And you'll see where the link for them is through VCF. Now, the ones that they refer to, that the Early Learning Coalition is, if they're not located on VCF, the ones that they're referring to, there is a program where it has book embedded vocabulary instruction, dialogic reading, phonological awareness. Altogether, it's like 20 hours.
Number 8.
And at this time, we do not have the capacity to meet that need to do that. However, you have lots of other options. And you also have a 20-hour course through the Early Learning Florida University of Florida Lassiter literacy courses if you want to go 20 hours. You have those available. If you look on the second page, that's 8 and 9. Yeah.
Are 8 and 9 the ones that's not available?
8 and 9 are the ones for the University of Florida. The one that's not available is the combination. They have a 20-hour course. And I probably shouldn't even mention it. I apologize. I probably confused you guys. I'm sorry. Just stick to the list. Let me just do that. Just stick to the list, okay? So you have your DCF training on page 1. And then you have literacy courses that are also available through DCF on page 2. And then you have the Early Learning Florida courses, 8 and 9, number 8 and 9 on page 2. And then you have the reading endorsement, which is through the local school district. Okay, so you just have to have a total of 15 hours. And that'll meet that requirement. Any questions?
There are a lot of things in your packet. There's the memo that came out, and then there's a training list that's also, and a frequently asked questions. They look very similar, but we wanted to make sure you had all of them. So they are in your packet for you to look at in more depth as time goes. And we're going to make sure that we bring this up all the time. We're going to start talking about this a lot so that everybody feels comfortable with the new requirements that are coming up and everybody has the training available that is needed. And we'll just keep on talking about it. And the frequently asked questions may be helpful. Sorry, for those of you online, if I'm making you dizzy, I'm sorry by scrolling so fast. But again, it kind of repeats the same training. And remember, any of those that cost anything, the coalition will reimburse.
You do have professional development reimbursement up to $300 a fiscal year available to you. The forms for that are available through our website at elc-marys.org through provider link and then professional development.
So basically, if you go to our website, you go to the provider tab and you click on professional development, down below there's all sorts of training opportunities available. And I feel like this paper goes on and on.
It does.
I'm scrolling for days.
Yeah.
It really
Lily,
does.
I'm sorry. On 8 and 9, it says contact your Early Learning Coalition. We did that and y'all told us those weren't available. I just want to make sure.
You're absolutely right. You did contact me and I did tell you that those weren't available. I also let Michelle know the ones that were available. And then later on, I found out the reason why we don't have them is because the University of Florida has them.
Okay,
So at the time of the call, I was not aware of that.
Okay, that's fine.
Until I got this information.
so what,
And I got this information actually from you because they emailed it to you guys. DEL emailed it to you.
And they emailed it to us too. So part of that is because the Lassiter Center, the registrations, they are announced through us. So then you can go like that window to log in for those courses. Does that make sense? That's why it says to contact us for those
okay.
when they're the online.
So where do you go to register is what I'm asking then? Because this says contact your Early Learning Coalition.
So that's when the registration periods that open up through Lassiter, they send us, and I believe we may have something that just came last week from Luciana.
So the fall semester is over. You have the spring semester that you can start registering for in the beginning of
So we
January.
will follow up with that information.
Okay.
Yeah, Janet's
If
gonna write it down.
you're interested in that, please email quality@elc-america.
We'll send it out to
I can,
everybody.
or just go ahead and send it out.
Yep, we'll send it out to everybody, because anybody that's offering VPK is gonna need to be aware of these opportunities sooner rather than later, so we'll send it to everybody.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
can I interrupt? Talk to us about the reading endorsement piece with the local school district. The last one on the list.
There's not a lot of information out there right now, but it's coming. We have a trainer through Marion County Public Schools, which is Liz Fields, I think, that does this training, so more to come on that piece.
It's a lot, that's a lot of hours though.
I think it is a lot of hours, and it's still being kind of put together as far as what the, who is it gonna be available to, when is it gonna be available? So that's an important, I believe, an in-person course, so we'll get more information on that piece too. So, we're really throwing this stuff out there because we want to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it so that you know it's coming, so that you can start making a plan for your staff that haven't been to training yet. Because this is a big change. This is probably one of the biggest changes since the change to VPK, since how we changed kindergarten readiness rates a couple of years ago. The inclusion of your AP assessments, which is a great segue for me to talk about AP1. Well, let me pause for a second. Let me see if there's any questions. Stephen, can you check the chat for me? Thank you. Oh, do you know if we will have to apply for the grant for staff to receive the 1,000 in January? Let me back up for a second. Does the project for language and vocabulary count?
You're talking about the one that, is this, who is that one? Sarah Lisa?
Sarah, can you give us a little more information? Is that the pilot project directly through the Division of Early Learning?
Or are you talking about the one through MSU?
So we just need a little more information, Sarah. And then Stephanie, yes, you will have to reapply for that $1,000. So that's kind of off what, we're not really talking about that right now, but that's okay. We are going to, that is the second $1,000 incentive for all of your teaching staff directly. It is part of the CARES Act, so a lot of you probably applied for it back in July. Was it July? Yeah, all the months are coming together now. Yeah. Yeah, so this is part 2, so that is coming out in January-ish. We haven't heard, I haven't heard. Have you, Roseanne, heard anything yet about that release? We're focused on phase 6 right now and also on phase 5.
I do know that you're gonna receive an email just like you did last time. They plan on following the steps they took last time.
So that's gonna be up to the directors to apply then and certify teachers and things like that.
And that email will be sent from DEO, and it will say, do not reply, just like the original first one.
So let's talk about AP1. So assessment period 1 for a bunch of you that are offering VPK has already come and gone. So we are in the process now of reviewing all the data, and we will have to contact you if you did not submit your data in time to find out why. In some cases, there was a few cases where providers were closed due to COVID and could not meet that requirement, in which case we can provide technical assistance and work with you. Some of you just didn't do it. If you didn't complete your assessments, your VPK assessment AP1, it is terms for contract termination. For up to 5 years.
Elizabeth? Repeat that.
So AP, your assessments for VPK are in your contract, and failure to complete them timely without working with the coalition is subject to termination of your VPK contract for up to 5 years.
What if I just forgot?
We have to really look at why you forgot.
I need everybody to remember, we are contracted with the state of Florida to comply with the rules and laws that they have in place. And your contract here clearly states if you don't do this, the coalition has to. And I'm sorry, and it's going to negatively impact your business, but we don't have control over that. You have to do it. We're going to make ourselves as available as possible to answer questions and provide guidance, but you have to do it. Elizabeth, does Marion County have any providers in that situation?
Yes, unfortunately we do. I'm doing my best, and we have been working with the Division of Early Learning to keep this provider from losing their contract for 5 years. 5 years is a long time in early learning. 5 years is a long time anyway, but 5 years is a long time in early learning, and it has a big impact on your program. So this is a big deal. Where we're at right now is we're reviewing all the data and the submissions, and we will be contacting anybody that did not submit it to find out why. If you just forgot, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do to help you there, because we have talked about this in every meeting since last year. Every meeting, I make sure this is on the agenda because it's that big of a deal. We wouldn't do this and we wouldn't keep pushing stuff at you if it wasn't a big deal. So that is a great segue into our quality improvement plan. Providers on probation. Is this me or you?
It's me.
Okay, go.
Actually, more importantly, if you were a VPK provider who was on a quality improvement plan, I just want to give you, and I hope everybody will join me in giving them a great round of applause. Every single VPK provider who was on a quality improvement plan for VPK has completed all their target areas. You have no idea how hard that is. Mary, and let's give a hand to Mary and Delaney and our staff, Mary Brewster, has been with me from the beginning.
You need the last name.
Together, you guys worked with us and you completed your target areas. Thank you so much. That is no small feat. The good news is that you're done for now until the new readiness rates come out.
Yes.
When the new readiness rates come out, that will qualify you to either stay out of POP, which is providers on probation for VPK, or you may have to do another quality improvement plan depending on your situation.
So the rates, this is the first year that we've had rates since COVID came and interrupted our world. So we anticipate in December that the preliminary rates will be released, okay? What that means for VPK providers is that you will have the opportunity to log into your Bright Beginnings account and into the kindergarten readiness rate account, but you want to use both and make sure all your data is correctly entered. So for me, if my Aiden Diola is in there and listed as a female, I'm going to make sure that he's listed as a male because I want the data accurate, okay? If you know a child wasn't there or was there and isn't on your list, you need to make sure you want to get credit for this. This is the first year. It's going back to the same way it was before as far as how they are determining your readiness rate. So it's a combination of the flicker screening that happens within the first 30 days of kindergarten and your and so a certain percentage of your assessment data that is going to be used to benefit you for your kindergarten readiness rate. Any questions about that? So December, we are having a provider meeting December 7th. My hope is that Janet will have more information on the kindergarten readiness rates at that point to share with you at that meeting. So she'll have more information to give you in details if something hasn't been released by then. But we are only, 3 weeks from that time? So this year's flying. Vpk class observation. I don't see, oh, wait.
More questions.
Let's see, couple questions. All right, Stephanie, we will answer that question in just a minute. It says pre-kindergarten and kindergarten language and vocabulary project through state.
Yes, that counts.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
that
FSU
counts.
project
It'll be
counts.
on your DCF transcript.
And the other question we have is the center closed and the kids transferred to your center after the first 30 days of the program. Do you still need to do an AP1 on those kids, even though they had it done at the previous center? So what I would tell you is communicate with the previous center, see if you can get the data. If not, that child is going to be on the pre-assessment for the former provider. And then you're going to do the post-assessment, then they won't count in your score because you won't have a pre and a post. That's a little tricky. No matter what though, I would say as a best practice, when a child transfers into you, you definitely want to do some sort of screening on them because you want to know where they're at. right? You want to know what is coming to you? What is this child coming to you with? So you can get a baseline rate. And the other question was about inclusion, and that was, do we still have sites that come out and do, I think it said screenings or observations? And the answer to that is yes. You can contact Sienna McFarland. Her extension, let's see, she's 352. She's area code 352-369-2315. Her extension is
235, and she can do an observation, but she does not do fiddlers.
well, she can refer to fiddlers.
But she can refer to fiddlers. I just
Yes.
saw the fiddlers up there.
Yeah. She can observe, she can help you figure out what the best route is to go, whether it's Talk and Grow, fiddlers, whatever the need is. Somebody else, I know some of you refer to other people. Is it still Lena? Is it still echoing?
I just muted everyone.
Okay, shouldn't it be then? Does it count for all of the hours, or we still need to do 2 more courses for the FSU project? You'll have to look at your transcript to see how many hours you have there.
If it's the one, call me later, Stacey. Well, I'll get back to you.
When you redo the AP1 for your transferred students, you put it into Bright Beginnings, you can, because here's why. If provider number 1 did the pre-assessment and entered it into Bright Beginnings, but that child is with you for all the rest of the AP periods, they're not going to show up for that provider. Does that make sense? So provider 1 is not going to have any data except that AP1 on them. So yes, you can. All right.
Elizabeth,
Yes,
providers who are on probation have to do AP2.
yes.
I just want to know.
Providers on probation do still have to do AP2 and AP3. Yes. All right. And the last thing that we're going to cover under the VPK updates, because we still have a lot to go and a little bit of time left, is Lily, you want to talk about VPK
Yeah, I'm
class?
gonna keep this really simple because there's still a lot going on with where this is concerned. But VPK class observations are going to be part of the contracting process, and they are going to be in the quality performance system. And if you've ever had a class observation, that's pretty much what it is. It's a class observation for your VPK classroom, and it's going to be using the pre-K tool. So the same tool that we use to observe our school readiness sites for their pre-K classrooms is the ones that's going to be used for VPK. We have had 7 state classroom trainings thus far with Anna Gonzalez, where she focuses on the pre-K class tool and what a class observation looks like and what that is all about. And we're going to be having more trainings in the future, so please keep a look on our professional development calendar that will be on our website, and also the emails that you'll be receiving through Constant Contact that Wendy's been sending that has our professional development opportunities in it.
Okay.
So I would like to know, and I'd like you guys to tell me what your comfort level is with class. I look at Pastor and I say that because I think I can distinctly remember him sitting over here going, our teachers need more training on what this is and what it means in the classroom. And are your comfort levels a little bit better? Are your teachers a little more comfortable now, or where are we at with it? Is it the same? A little bit better?
We're good.
Okay. Any feedback? I don't know, I'm putting you on the spot.
I do have a question though, or 2-part.
Uh-huh.
If we've already been assessed this year for the school readiness, will you get a separate VPK one?
It will be a separate VPK
Okay.
one, yes, ma'am, but it would be just for that VPK classroom.
Okay, even if they did a VPK classroom when they came?
That part, like I said, there's still some questions
Okay,
being addressed and how Wells is gonna make those selections, because the selections are still being done by Wells.
okay.
So stay tuned.
I think
Okay.
our hope is that we're not doubly being intrusive. That's not the purpose for this being in the statute. So hopefully, if we already covered that classroom, we'll be able to count that for it. Hopefully. Now, we're still getting, some feedback.
I do know how you describe the classroom in the quality performance system will help.
Okay, and the second part is,
As you identified as a VPK classroom.
okay, the second part is there a way to get the feedback, what the observer saw? So if there is areas that you need to improve in or whatever, or areas you excel in, you don't want to keep training on those and you want to train on the
Yes,
other.
absolutely.
And we don't get a copy of that.
All you had to do was ask.
Well, but we should be sending them. We should be sending a copy, so we will make sure we send a copy from here.
Yeah, we get the score and that's it.
Yeah,
we don't
we'll
get that.
send a
Okay.
copy from here on out.
That'd be great.
Be
Thank
happy
you.
to give you a copy.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you brought that up because
Yeah.
I wasn't.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we'll be very happy to.
Elizabeth, to answer your question.
Yes,
With COVID and the stress of lack of staff has not been able to receive training that they want because they're just so overwhelmed.
yeah. I do feel that. I understand that too, along everything. So we're paying attention to that. We're trying to find some ways to alleviate that. And I want to talk to you about a piece of that, about the phase 6 in just a minute. But I appreciate that feedback. That's important to us to know that. Couple of questions that we have. Will VPK observations be totally new, even though we are currently a 2-year observation rotation? You will probably have to have that. Whoever asked that question, I can't see your name right now, but we will probably, even though if you're on a 2-year rotation, you'll probably have to have the VPK in that circumstance because it hasn't been observed. We'll probably have to do just your VPK. Our teachers need training. In-person MMCI trainings are significantly helpful. We are working on getting that back in play. We're working on it. So you guys, just along with us, have had a lot of staff turnover, and you know how that goes. When that goes, it's hard. It's hard to build that capacity again, but we're doing it. We're working on it. So stay tuned for that. I want to move into phase 6. Does anybody have any other questions about VPK class or VPK in general? Okay, phase 6. All of you got your applications. I'm actually still working with a couple of providers, 11 to be precise, on phase 5. But we are moving forward with phase 6 applications right now. If you haven't received the email from me, I sent it last Thursday on the 11th, later in the afternoon. The majority of you have. Does anybody in here not even know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah. For the first time in my life, I'm glad to see nobody answer me. Okay, so one thing I wanted to bring to you, this is new about this phase 6, is on the second page of your application, at the very top, it says expenditure certification. The third box there is brand spanking new, okay? I'm gonna encourage all of you to check yes to that box, even if you don't know what you're checking yes to, because I'm about to tell you what you're checking yes to. There are 2 different pots of money for phase 6. One of them is a base grant allocation, and the other one is a workforce initiatives allocation that's specifically to help you retain, upskill, and recruit new staff. This money can be used for any of that. If you're paying for background screenings, you can use it for that. If you are paying for training for your staff, you can use it for that. If you're paying to recruit, maybe you have an ad on Indeed that costs, I don't know how much it costs, but whatever that is, you can use it for that. So please do not bypass this money. Just like I told our phase 5 people that left that money on the table, what happens if you don't get your money? Where do you think it goes? Not to me, I can tell you
Back to
that.
the state.
It goes back.
Right. Yeah, can we remind the family child care homes that workforce initiatives, that includes any funds that they spend for traveling to
Yeah.
trainings, any registration fees for trainings, anything that's expensive to get continuing CEUs for family child care homes.
Yes.
All that counts.
And you are your own staff, family child care home providers. If you're working with a substitute, if you have to renew your background screening, take advantage of these funds. We don't know when this will happen ever again. So I wanted to really bring that to your attention and to let you know of another grant that is a part of phase 6 that the coalition is working on recruitment, upskilling, I can't say that for some reason, and retaining your staff. So I'm working on an application right now that will hopefully bring a little bit of light to this realm for us. I appreciate any feedback you all give me. I appreciate it when you send me an email with your feedback in it, because as you see, we touch so many things that sometimes I can't remember exactly what you told me at that given moment. But if you haven't submitted your phase 6, please do it as soon as possible.
Is there a due date for them to get to?
As soon as
And it
possible.
says, yeah.
The due date is as soon as you're done with it. Send it in. You are sending those to quality@elc-marion.org. It is 100% electronic. You don't have to put a budget on this one like you did phase 5, which makes it a little easier. Let me pause and see if we have any questions. Any questions? Okay.
No questions.
No questions. Awesome. In your packet, I'm just going to keep going into the school readiness updates. Actually, I don't think it's in your packet. This is just a reminder to not remove yourself from the constant contact list. If you remove yourself from that list, you're opting out of important messages. You're getting ready to stop receiving emails directly from me. You're going to get them all through constant contact. So what that means is if you opt out of them, things like this phase 6 application, you're not going to get it. And let me tell you something that we learned last week. I don't know if Roseanne wants me to tell you this. I'm going to. Is she still on the screen? Can you see her little face in there? So over the next 4 years, and some of you saw it's public knowledge, Biden has lots of bills out there talking about early learning. $6.2 billion slated to come into Florida over the next 4 or 5 years for early learning. This is a big deal. So please don't opt out of the constant contact emails so that we can tell you when there's other grants available and other things going on. That being said, we're entering into the holiday season. I know you can't help it. You can't help it. So with that, just keep in mind, follow your closure calendars, okay? If you told us you're going to be closed for VPK, if you told us you're going to be closed because the wind blew, I don't know. Whatever you put on your closure calendar, please follow it. Please follow it. I can't tell you how many issues, and Steven's in the back, and he does a lot of your adjustments. His eyebrows just raised. He does a lot of adjustments, and when you don't follow your calendar, it really hiccups the system, okay? It can cause a delay in payment, it can cause a lack of payment, it can cause a lot of issues. And you know, this system is not, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to navigate. You guys got it down though. So if you said you're gonna be closed, go check your calendar. That's your homework today. Check your closure calendar. Make sure you're slated to close in the days that you said. If that's not the days you wanna close, now is the time. Update it now. Because we can't go back. And then the holiday reminders, the coalition is closed next Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. Is it next week already? Yeah, it is. Maybe the other turkey. But, so, yeah, so next Thursday and Friday, the coalition will be closed in observance of Thanksgiving. And then we are only closed, I think, Friday, the 24th.
24th.
Yeah, the 24th. And then the 5th, I think. I don't even know when we're closed. It's terrible.
It's on Saturday.
Yeah, so we're gonna be here. Okay, well, if you call us and we don't answer, then we're but
It just don't have everything filled.
it does, yeah.
Right in place.
So the biggest thing is just to make sure you're looking at those reimbursement dates. The constant contact reminders that Marcy sends out will give you those dates that, because you have your reclaim dates, you have your submission dates, you have all this different stuff to keep track of. And we know it's a lot. So I just wanted to remind you of the holidays and to just check your calendar and make sure.
Christy, I just wanted to let you know, you may have to check your spam for the constant contact. It may sometimes go in your spam.
The other piece too is if your emails are not up to date in EFS mod, you may not be getting constant contact. We pull that email list from mod, from your provider profile. So please make sure, you may not have opted out, but make sure you check mod. Yeah. Okay. Go, Lily, go.
I was like, oh yeah, it's my turn. So QPS staff rosters, how many of you guys are familiar with the QPS staff roster?
Oh, good answer. Okay.
All right. Hopefully everybody at home is raising their hand if you're school readiness. If you're school readiness, you know that you have a quality performance system profile and that there's a staff roster in there. You may or may not have received phone calls from Mary asking you to please update your staff roster and keep it updated. You are required to update your staff roster on a monthly basis and submit it. Reason being, and this is very, very important because when Vpk observations come, so Vpk providers are going to have to do this as well. We have to be able to know exactly what teachers are in what classrooms, for class observations so that we can prepare. One of the things that you guys are not aware of is we are working with children's forum, and we have to do an estimate of how many class observations we need. And we do that by looking at your staff rosters and the information in the quality performance system. If the information in there is not correct, then it messes things up for us to be able to support you. And it is contractual. Any questions?
I have one thing. When providers log on to their portal, right there on the right-hand side is a quick links box with QPS. All you got to do is click on that, go into your QPS, go to your teachers. If everything's the same, just hit submit. Takes
Yeah.
2 minutes.
If nothing's changed on your roster, then yes.
All right, well, we are going to talk really quickly. Stephen, is there any way you can pull up our professional development calendar in the PDF forms at the bottom? So we have a lot going on with professional development right now. I have had the pleasure of meeting a lot of your teachers that are coming to conscious discipline training, to CNS 10 components training. There is a new calendar that we just put out last Saturday, and it has a couple of new things in it. We're doing a 4-part series on the pyramid model. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the pyramid model. The first one is a training specifically on something called a calming kit. Okay, this is really easy to implement. If your teachers want to come to it, these are virtual trainings. They're on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30. They keep their camera off. We don't even care if they're dressed. So they can come and join us. They can eat for dinner. So up here, the only thing I don't have on here is the December 7th provider meeting, which we will have here. So that is on the bottom of your agenda. But the first calming, so the parent, I'm bringing this up because we have trainings coming up this Saturday, 10 components. You can register on our website. All of these are free trainings. 10 components, this is the second
One,
in
this
the
one's
series.
going to be about health and safety and environment.
But you don't have to attend the first one to get the second one. So if you're interested, or if you have staff that are infant toddler teachers, we encourage you. On Saturday, we have part 2 of our conscious discipline. So if any of your staff attended any of our part 1s, we had one last Saturday, we had some back in June. They are welcome to join us. The teachers that attend part 2 of our conscious discipline are actually going to get the teaching strategies curriculum called PALS. It's a social emotional curriculum that they can use. It goes in conjunction with the conscious discipline piece. And the other pieces that they're getting is those that have been to conscious discipline training are really familiar probably with Sophie and Schubert, which are 2 of their little characters, and they have their own set of social emotional books. And each teacher that attends will have their own social emotional book set of Schubert as well as Al's Pals. We're offering that class twice. We're offering it November 20th and then a repeat on December 4th, I think it is. But let me go back to these trainings real quick. So this is a 4-part training. You don't necessarily have to go to all 4, but it's definitely recommended on the pyramid model. The teachers that attend the first one, which will be on December 2nd, 6:30 to 8:30, a virtual training, will get a teacher calming kit. Okay, this is the kit. It's really easy to use. The pamphlet, look how thin it is. They're going to show you how to use this kit. This will be a training that's recorded too. Everybody that signs up, we're going to get a teacher kit. And then the opportunity, if you all decide to do family night, we have actually family calming kits. We've got 250 of them with our preschool development grant. We'll be happy to give them to any of you that are willing to host a family night where you want to give this kit. It doesn't have to be anything big, elaborate. Maybe some of you are doing holiday parties and you want some of these to go. You do have to come to the calming training though in order to participate in that.
Or maybe you have a family who needs some kids to calm down.
Just 1 or 2 maybe. But the pyramid model trainings then will carry on. They're every Thursday evening in December up until, and then we're throwing everybody off with one on the 21st of December. They're 2-hour trainings. Like I said, they're virtual. And the teachers that register for parts 2 and attend 2, 3, and 4 are going to get a pyramid model teaching kit to go with their classroom and everything that they learn. These are all trainings that have to do with the preschool development grant. The coalition received funding through that grant to offer social and emotional support training. The conscious discipline piece, we're carrying it into next year as well. We have virtual support trainings with Nicole Mercer, who's a conscious discipline teacher. instructor, and she's going to be doing virtual touching base with everybody that went to those conscious discipline trainings throughout the springtime too, so that they feel comfortable implementing it. So we have a lot of things going on. And then we also, how many of you bought curriculum last year and got reimbursed for it? Anybody buy new curriculum? Yeah. We have 79 providers, and you're probably one of them, Miss Elma, who did not take advantage of that. We have a small grant, and we are going to be doing some training on Frog Street, and we're looking at creative curriculum too, because we have a lot of providers that are using that. We're bringing some virtual training for both of those. But we also have the opportunity to reimburse you for curriculum purchase this year if you didn't get it last year. If you got it last year, you cannot apply again this year. But if you didn't get reimbursed for your curriculum, and Christy, this one's for you. She sent me an email today. You can purchase your curriculum, and we have a form that you just fill out, and we will reimburse you the cost of your curriculum. We cannot pay taxes. We will pay shipping, but we cannot pay taxes. One curriculum per age group. So if you do infants and toddlers, and then you do a pre-K or a Vpk, that's fine. But one curriculum per age group. So I really wanted to talk to you all about that piece of it. And now I'm going to ask if Stephen can pull up our agenda one more time. I just want to show you two more things before we say goodbye today. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, can you scroll down for me? There are a few pieces I wanted to share with you that we give to our board. And I want, actually, this is the first one, so it's in your packet. This sheet gives you a snapshot of what your coalition does for our community. This is everything that our staff do under here. Hey, Natisha, Natisha joined us. She's part of our team too. She was on another call because we got 500 things going on at the same time, just like you. Appreciate you being with us. But on here, it tells you how many diapers we gave out so far, year to date. So this is through July through September. How many car seats we've distributed, how many teachers have come to training. That number is about to jump, I can tell you that. How many pack and plays we distributed, how many community events we've been at. So if you ever wonder when you don't get us on the phone what we're doing, this is a good snapshot though, actually, for you. And then the next page in there, if you can keep going, Stephen, thank you, is our legislative priorities. Every year I stand up here, or Roseanne stands up here and tells you how important it is for you to have your voice heard on rule hearings and to make sure you're reading those things that are coming to you if you're able to keep up with it. It's a lot. And this year with the inception of the new bill in July, there are a lot of things going on, a lot of changes happening. So Roseanne put together this piece of information. This is our legislative priorities. They are in alignment with the state and what DEL's priorities are, and the Association of Early Learning Coalitions. So that's every coalition in the state of Florida. So if you notice on here, our goal, keep families working, keep children learning. Okay, good beginnings equal great endings. We actually have a breakfast that is entitled that's happening in March to get the business community involved in early learning. Ron Schwally is going to be a keynote speaker at that. If any of you want to share that with any of your colleagues and business partners. And then early care and education providers are the workforce behind our workforce. I think COVID showed the world how important early childhood education is. COVID showed the world that everything will stop if you don't have child care services and if you're not providing quality childcare. So I wanted to bring these to you so that you know what we are doing and what our board is looking at, what our CEO is doing, fighting this fight on all of our behalf to keep that money coming in, keep those phase grants coming to support you, keep you afloat while you're waiting for the kids to show up from wherever they're hiding under their rock right now. And then the last thing in your packet, actually there's two more things. Celebration of hands. If you want to send your hands up to Tallahassee, we will send a box up, but we would need them by, I think we said, I don't know the date, but I'll tell you. We would need them by like the third week in January to send it up in time, or no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. January 14th, so we said like the first week in January, we would need them. So even if you brought them to the next provider meeting, we'd be happy to send them up for you, or you can directly send them up yourself. So the address is right on there. They have to be there by January 14th. every year we have providers that are represented up there. So that is a big deal. And if you've never seen the rotunda at the Capitol with all those little hands hanging, it is something to behold, for sure.
So just to be clear, make sure I have this straight. First week of January here, and then they gotta be in Tallahassee by the 14th.
By the 14th, so we need to ship them like that second week in January.
All right.
So if we get any in, we're putting them right in the box and putting them right out the door. So, the last thing in your packet is the school choice. We're continuing to build our relationship with the public school system through our Early Learning Academy, which some of you may have heard of, through a lot of different endeavors with Dr. Gullett, a lot of great things going on there. And one of them is we told them we would share with you the school choice open. This is the School Choice Expo. It's actually on Thursday from 5 to 7 at Westport. But this is basically to share with your family. So you can plop that on your parent table or whatever to let them know if they're looking to have their child enrolled, a school-age child, at a school other than what their district is, then they will want to, whatever they're zoned for, they'll want to make sure they attend this so they can learn. So the window is very short to participate in that.
Can I share? I was able, this is not just for younger school age children, this is also for older ones too. I was able to find out that Cameron could get his construction courses through NCI through one of these expos. And it was very helpful. He now has his, as he likes to tell me over and over again, over 8 certifications, Mom. I have my card in construction. And I'm like, okay. So this really opens up your eyes to what's available in Marion County that you may not have been aware of before.
That's all we got for you today. Thank you so much. Does anybody have anything to share before we say goodbye and happy Thanksgiving?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's not turkeys. I have a special going. I have 7 turkeys walking around my backyard. They're wild. If you catch them, you keep them. You got them too?
I have one in my backyard.
Uh-oh.
I really get them fixing this food and the kids is fighting. Chicken in your backyard. That's a chicken.
A chicken. The chickens that are this tall. Yeah. I have a family of 7 plus bears. Wow. I got bears. It's a national security system. I'll take it.
Can we go ahead and pass out the goodies?
All right, yes.
Christmas
We
is
do have,
around.
thank you for attending, pieces. Thank you for joining us in person. We will continue to do this hybrid like this for as long as you are needing it. And in person, we try to give a goodie, saying thank you for coming in person. We know it's kind of easy to get away from your sites right now.
One from this Karen.
Thank